was committed by any of these individuals. And Jen Psaki, Kash Patel has sort of flown under the radar with so much scrutiny on some of Trump's other picks, Hegseth, Gabbard, Kennedy, and the like. I expect that will change come confirmation hearings. But weigh in here on what this is really about. I mean, it's about, yes, perhaps an investigation into Liz Cheney. Then they'll dream up some sort of charge. But again, we should note there's certainly no sign of it yet. But it's about intimidation. It's about tying people up. It's about not just getting retribution for what happened over the last 4 or 8 years. It's about trying to set a chilling effect for the next 4, saying, hey, don't investigate us or we'll come after you.
It's about prompting people to be obedient in advance. And we've heard many people who are historians talk about that, but that's what we're seeing across the board here. And just to go back to the Liz Cheney piece here and Kash Patel, it's not only that there hasn't been a lot of criticism, it has been basically silent in terms of any concern expressed by Republicans in the Senate about the Kash Patel nomination to lead the FBI, which is a 10-year term. And that is not a partisan position. It's not one that typically, obviously, there's nominated by Democrats or Republicans, but they serve over the course of multiple administrations of parties for a reason. And this is a guy, to David's point, who has literally an enemies list in his book that is baseless. So there has been no real opposition. We'll see what happens and if there's changes with the hearings. The last piece I would just note is that there's been a lot of talk about preemptive pardons, and the more Trump and people around him mention this, the more it seems like a good idea. But even if a big list of people is on a preemptive pardon list, they can still be investigated. They can still be hauled in front of Congress, which is run by Republicans. They can still have their names tarnished. They can still be forced to spend tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, in legal fees. And part of this is tying up these voices, intimidating people, and again, forcing people to be obedient in advance, which should be chilling to people. It's not just the media. It's voices of opposition within the Republican Party, obviously Democrats, outside groups. That's the clear goal here, threatening, creating fear as a form of silencing people.
So, David, if Jen is correct, and Jen is almost always correct, if Cassidy Hutchinson got a preemptive pardon, there's still no end to her ordeal. She can still be publicly interrogated, can still be publicly humiliated by the oppositions on the committee. So there is no end to this.
In terms of Congress, absolutely. And I've talked to about a half dozen people or more who are on this list in Kash Patel's book, and they expect it to both come from Congress and come from the FBI. But it is, being investigated criminally by the federal government is a pretty overwhelming experience. It's very expensive, but it will drag on for years. And it is a message that, and Trump is very clever, like what he said in the interview where he says, like, oh, they should do what they want, and I'm not telling them what to do. Then he says they should go to jail. And so he's done this, for years where he kind of keeps his fingerprints off of it. But loyalists see these signals and act on them.
He doesn't have to say anything explicitly anymore. They